My name is Kathleen Thomas and I'm from Dover, Delaware. I was having a flooding issue in my lower level, and I actually interviewed several companies in the region, and I just didn't like the approach, the gimmicks, some of the gimmicks that the companies used. So I decided to go with someone local, and I looked up DryZone literally in the phone book and gave him a call. I just decided enough was enough. My son had moved back in with me. He was living down there, and one night we had 4 to 5 inches of water, and I said, I can't live this way. I was very upset about the whole situation. I got, of course, like everyone, I Googled it, and I got a couple of companies that were not in Delaware. I got one from New Jersey and one from Pennsylvania, and they sent salespeople to my home. And I'm a marketing teacher, and I've been a marketing teacher for a long time, and I didn't like the approach that they used with me. I was very upset. In fact, I was in tears. And the gentlemen that came to my house were very pushy. They tried to use a lot of gimmicks, a lot of sales gimmicks to get me to commit to a system that I didn't really understand. And it was going to be very expensive, and I understood that, but I didn't see how they'd be able to really help me with the products that they described. So I got online again, and I actually found some negative comments online about these companies. So I thought, I want somebody that's local. I want a company in Delaware so that if something goes wrong, I can show up at their door and I can be like, I need help. So I found DryZone. I found a listing for DryZone, and I called, and I got Heather, I believe, and I was crying. I was so upset, I started crying. And I said, I need to get this fixed and I need help. And she was like, assured me immediately, ma'am, we can help you. I'm going to send, I believe it was Mr. Anderson, over to talk to you. He probably spent 2 hours over here the first time. He was so professional, so polished, brought the computer in, explained everything to me, explained the options available. Talked to me about what he would do. I said, what would you do if this were your home? And he said, well, that's how we treat our customers, like it is our home. He explained everything very thoroughly to me, and I committed to him that day. I knew before he left. He didn't try to push me at all. He said, no, I'm going to give you some time to think about it. I said, oh no, sir. I want you to do my work. Like, I feel comfortable, because then I knew, what to expect and what was going to occur. And within 6 weeks, he had the whole job done. So it was awesome. Great. First of all, the salesperson who came to my home was so professional. And he showed me so much empathy. I was very, very upset. My house was flooding in all 4 directions. I had probably 4 inches of water in the downstairs, and I was very upset. And he was so empathetic, and he kept assuring me that he could help me. Knowledgeable, friendly, empathetic, and just knew everything about all the different kinds of systems. I felt comfortable right away once I talked to the salesperson. I wanted a really good sump pump that had an alarm on it, that had a backup marine battery, and right away he had everything that I needed when I really didn't know what I need. But he explained it all to me, and I liked everything that he explained. Well, when I scheduled to get the system installed, they started calling for a really bad snowstorm. And that's when I was having a lot of my damage. When the snowstorm would end, all the water from the snow, when it melted, would end up in my downstairs. I was very upset that they weren't going to be able to get it done before a 22-inch snowstorm. It was huge for Delaware to have that much snow. And the office, the girl at the office, the ladies at the office assured me it would be done. And when the people got here to do the install, I was so upset over the weather forecast. They were like, ma'am, we're going to get this done if we have to stay here till midnight. And they literally pulled out of the driveway, I believe it was the 3rd day, as it was starting to snow. And they just did it. They did it right. And when I've called the office, or when I've had the person come to recheck the system every year, just knowledgeable, pleasant, shows me all the pictures, just a really top-notch professional group of people that work for DryZone, and I just feel so comfortable using them, and my house is so important to me, and they've been very important to me. Well, your house is very important to you. My home is my most valuable asset, and water damage can be just terrible for your home with the mold and the problems that water can bring. And as soon as everyone that I've talked to from DryZone to this day is just so knowledgeable about waterproofing and home construction and what they need to do to fix something in your home. So I felt comfortable with them from the knowledge base, and they were also very empathetic. They knew I was like a crazy person. I was really upset. And they didn't make me feel stupid for being upset. They were like, we understand why you're upset. I mean, I had water lapping in my house, and they were very kind, knowledgeable, professional, just everything that I've always taught my students that you should be as a salesperson, as a company representative. I would recommend DryZone to anybody who, like me, values their property and their home. And living in Delaware, the codes have been changed since my house was built. Now they would have had to install a sump pump. But, you know, anything that was built 1999 or prior, a lot of times people didn't put in what they needed. And now if you need to have it done after the fact, I mean, they just did a great job, and it's beautiful. I mean, you can't even see where the drain is. They really did a good job.